I'm sorry, that is so tolerated coded. I love when women, period. I love when women. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. Oh my gosh, I am all decked out and ready for today's video. We got 3 levels of butterflies. Okay, so obviously you're probably seeing right off the bat, we get the butterfly necklace. I actually have it flipped around. It's usually like a colorful butterfly on one side, but I felt like it was kind of clashing, and I'm gonna have some other colors going on, so I flipped it to this side, but it's got this cute, very 90s style design. I would link it down below, but I got this from my friend who used to make jewelry and doesn't anymore. But anyway, super cute. And then I have these lunar moth earrings from Folksy Love that we're gonna pretend are butterflies. And then I got the butterfly clips. I'm feeling super cute, super vintage, maybe a little early 2000s vibes, but that's not what this video is about. You did not click on this video to get the details of all my butterfly accessories today. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, it's the debut album. It's just called Taylor Swift. If this is your first video in my makeup and music series, basically what I do is I go through all of the Taylor Swift albums. Eventually I'd like to do other albums too, but obviously, you know, the Eras tour is going on right now and I'm going in May. I'm so excited. So I've been going through every single one of Taylor Swift's albums or eras and doing a makeup look inspired by that, while also talking about my top 5 favorite songs in the album. And I will be completely honest, nobody requested debut on my last video, but I just, by sheer power of the universe, fell into my debut era last week, and I cannot pull myself out of it. I have fallen in love with her debut album. I've heard it before, you know, like, I'll be honest, I didn't listen to it when it first came out in 2006 because I was 12 and the internet was different then. I was not on MySpace. I only listened to the songs on my MP3 player that my sister put on there for me, and I only had 50 songs available, so like, it's kind of cool to go back and listen to it as an adult, and man, I wish I had listened to this album a million times in my teenage years because it is just such a quintessential coming of age album. And I might be 28, but I'm still coming of age, so I found it very relatable. And yeah, I can't wait to talk to you about my top 5 favorite songs and do a makeup look inspired by this incredible album art. Obviously, we're already going with lots of butterflies, so you know I'm gonna put some butterflies on my eyes. We're gonna do some graphic liner. We're gonna play with these gorgeous blue, green, teal colors, and I am just so excited, so let's get into it. So if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you and you want to listen to me rant and rave about how much I love Taylor Swift's debut album, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching because it's coming at you right now. As always, I'll have all of the makeup products listed down below. I'm super excited for this look because teals and blues and greens are like my favorite colors to work with, even though my favorite color is purple. I love wearing blues and teals and greens, and I think that's because I have cool undertones, and that is like color theory stuff. Anyways, doesn't matter. This is the Half Magic Beauty Chrome Addiction Matte Eye Paint in the shade We Are Aliens, and I'm gonna start by popping that all over my lid, and I'm actually gonna try to blend it out today, which is not usually how I wear it, so wish me luck. But alright, let's get right into my top 5 on the album. I know I say this for every video, but it's really hard to choose a top 5 when it comes to Taylor Swift albums. I just feel like my favorites change based on my mood, based on what I'm going through in my personal life, you know? So this is my top 5 of the moment, and my number 5 favorite song on Taylor Swift's debut album is Our Song. How could I not include Our Song in the top 5? She wrote it for her 9th grade talent show, which is just so sweet, and it's such a good song. Even if you're not a Taylor Swift fan, I feel like you can't not sing along to Our Song. It's just so like the intro music to the song, it just gets me so pumped up. It's like on the same level as like Shania Twain Let's Go Girls to me. When that intro music of the little like twangy starts up, I get hyped. This is such a hype me up song. Like, I absolutely love Our Song. Also, holy freaking wow, dude, why have I never tried blending out these Half Magic eye paints before? They're blending out effortlessly. But anyway, Taylor Swift's debut album is very much a coming of age album, like I said in the intro. So yeah, it's a little corny. I don't even want to say that because I don't mean that in a negative way. I love corny. I love cringy. I love chuggy. I love things that are a little bit like cliche sometimes. Who cares? If you enjoy it, I think there's no shame in that. But it's a little bit of a corny song, and I think it's so freaking sweet that the whole concept of the song is like, you know, a lot of times couples have like their song. My boyfriend and I's song is Harvest Moon by Neil Young. In case you were wondering, very, very sweet. We fell in love under the harvest moon. Anyways, not what this video is about. But the concept of couples having a song is one that's been around for forever, you know? So I love that she took that concept and said, you know, why don't we flip that on its head and instead come up with our own song that is literally composed with all of the sounds of our relationship. Our song is a slamming screen door, sneaking out late, tapping on your window when we're on the phone and you talk real slow because it's late and your mama don't know. Our song is the way you laugh. Is this whole video going to be me just doing a dramatic reading of the lyrics to our song? Maybe. It's just so sweet that she literally takes all of the sounds from the relationship and makes that into a song. I just think that's a really sweet concept, and it just really shows like how romantic Taylor Swift has always been. My friends used to sometimes make fun of me for listening to Taylor Swift growing up, and they'd be like, this girl's got a million boyfriends, like how could you be interested in her? Like that's not a good example for women. Literally throwing up. But I'd be like, you guys don't understand. Taylor Swift wears her heart on her sleeve because she is a true romantic, like to her core. And I relate to that really hard because I am also a true romantic to my core and always have been long before I had ever actually had a romantic partner. I have just always, you know, had this very like whimsical fantasy view of romance, and I just know Taylor Swift is like that too, and I think this song is such a cute reflection of that. Our song is so adorable. I've heard every album listen to the radio waiting for something to come along that was as good as our song, but it doesn't because the sounds of their relationship are their song. So I am gonna go in with a sparkly green shade over this, but I want to put my water activated liner down first so that it doesn't, you just get, sometimes it can get caught up in the shimmer. So this is the shade Waves from Glisten Cosmetics. I thought it was just a perfect match for that gorgeous blue on the album cover. But anyways, moving on to my number 4 song on debut, Taylor Swift, which is not one of the singles, so I don't know if all of you will know this one. If you're listening to this video, honestly, you probably like the album. But my number 4 song is Cold as You. The way this song rips at my heartstrings, I love it so much. If you watched my other Taylor Swift videos talking about my top 5 favorite songs on Speak Now and Lover, then you know I love gut-wrenching lyrics. I love when Taylor Swift makes me cry. You know I love when she sings about heartbreak, and this song is so beautiful and so gut-wrenching. I recently got a shower notepad, like an aqua notepad. It's a waterproof notepad that I can write notes in the shower. I promise this is relevant. But I was listening to this album in the shower yesterday. The best way to listen to gut-wrenching lyrics by Taylor Swift is in the shower. But this song came up and I was so glad I had my notepad because I had to write down that Cold as You is Tolerate It. It's like a younger version of the song Tolerate It, I would say. Tolerate It, if you don't know, is off of Evermore, and it's a song about how this person knows that her love should be celebrated, but the person she's with just tolerates it. And Cold as You is so similar because if you listen to the lyrics in Cold as You, it says, you put up walls and paint them all a shade of gray, and I stand there loving you and wishing them away. And then she says, and you come up with a great little story of a mess of a dreamer with the nerve to adore you. I'm sorry, that is so Tolerate It coded. I guess Tolerate It is more Cold as You coded because that came first, but it's the same concept as in Tolerate It, her talking about how she does all of these things to impress the guy she's with, to try to show him how much he loves her, and he just tolerates it. And then in Cold as You, the guy refers to her as a mess of a dreamer with the nerve to adore him. Like the same type of concept where her love here is being even less than tolerated, I would say. Her love is being pretty much rejected, being thought of as annoying. But I do feel like it's, you know, a similar concept of Taylor Swift loving this guy and giving her all to this guy and just not having that love be reciprocated in the way that she knows she deserves. And she knows that she deserves this in this song too, because she says the main chorus of the song is, oh, what a shame, what a rainy ending given to a perfect day. Talking about how like she could make this love so perfect between her and the person. Like her and this guy could have such a perfect love story because she loves him so much and is giving him all of her love, but he just always has to bring a rainy ending because he has to put up these gray walls. But then she reflects on this later in the chorus. She says, and now that I'm sitting here thinking it through, I've never been anywhere cold as you. And this has a double meaning, which I just discovered upon like my 40th listen of the song. So when I first heard it, I was like, I've never been anywhere as cold as you. That means like I've never been any place as cold as you. Like, you know how cold can mean like cold in temperature, but also cold, you know, that person's giving off cold vibes. I thought that it meant like I've never been anywhere as cold as you, but like meaning like you are cold in a sense that you are like mean. But like the double meaning, or maybe just the single meaning, is I've never been anywhere as cold as you. Not I've never been anywhere as cold as you, but I've never been anywhere as cold as you. Like I've never behaved, I've never acted as cold as you. So that's kind of a fun little double meaning there. It's I've both never been anywhere cold and I both never behaved as cold as you. Again, just alluding to that same like sort of concept in Tolerate It, where the one person is giving all of their love to the other person and being the opposite of cold, being warm, being inviting, and the person's just not appreciating it at all. They're putting up walls, they're tolerating it, or they're straight up annoyed by it, and she knows that she deserves better than that. I just think it's such a beautiful song. I think that Evermore girlies will love this song, so if you are someone who loves Evermore but maybe hasn't given Debut a chance because you're like, country album, give it a chance, because I did that too for a while. I was like, country album, I don't know if I want to listen to that one that much. If you love Taylor Swift's gut-wrenching lyrics on Evermore, then you will equally love her gut-wrenching lyrics on Debut. Give it a try. Now I'm gonna go in with one of my Odin's Eye singles. I don't know the name of the shade, but I will put it on the screen. I'm gonna go in with this gorgeous green shade. I've been neglecting these singles because honestly, I was just overwhelmed by all the choices, but I feel like this shade of green has a really pretty blue reflect in it, so it'll look nice over the more slimy green Half Magic Beauty shade. Oh my gosh. Oh, and it does. It's like totally transforming it. Anyways, I said I wasn't gonna talk about the makeup that much. So let's talk about my number 3 favorite song on Debut, which is A Place in This World. Ugh, the most quintessential coming of age song on the whole album, in my opinion. I'm gonna make another comparison to a more modern Taylor Swift song, I guess a more recent Taylor Swift song off of Midnights. If you like You're on Your Own, Kid, you will love A Place in This World. It's a very similar song concept, so some of the lyrics say, I'm alone on my own, and that's all I know. You're on your own, kid, you always have been. Like, you can't convince me that she was not singing this song in her head when she got the idea for You're on Your Own, Kid. You could convince me. If you know, I could be convinced of anything. I don't know what I'm talking about, but like, come on. I think You're on Your Own, Kid has to be like a slight homage to A Place in This World. And for me, I find that really comforting because A Place in This World very much feels like a teenage girl song. Like at the beginning of the song, she says, I don't know what I want, so don't ask me. I'm still trying to figure it out. Don't know what's down this road. I'm just walking, trying to make my way through the crowd. Like, that's very relatable for me. You know, I think when you're a teenager, especially at the time she was writing this song, I feel like a lot of us can relate to constantly feeling like people are constantly asking us, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna go to college for? What are you gonna do after high school? What are you gonna do next year? Like, people just, when you're a young person, constantly want to ask you what you're doing, and I still feel that way. Even at 28, I feel like everyone's constantly like, what are you doing now? What are you doing next? What's going on? Like, I don't know if that ever stops, but if you're like in your 40s or 50s, can you tell me, do people still ask you that all the time? And I mean no ill will towards the people that do ask that, because I know we're all just curious and stuff, but it just feels like, especially when you're a young person, everyone's always asking you, what's next? Where are you going? What are you doing? And this whole song is Taylor Swift kind of being like, stop. Don't ask me. But all she knows is that she's on her own. And I don't think she means that in a sense of like, I have no one, I have no friends, I have no family, because of course we know that she does. We know that we do. While listening to the song, we have friends, we all have people in our lives that support us, hopefully. But when it comes down to making the decisions of where you're going and what your future holds, you are on your own. You are alone in making those decisions because you yourself have to make the best decisions for you. You can't rely on other people to tell you where you're going. And so I think that's what she means when she says, all I know is I'm alone. I think I'm gonna draw some little butterflies on my eyes now. I don't really have a plan of where or how. I'm just gonna go for it. And I'm gonna use the shade Milk from Glisten. It's a white shade. So anyways, back to A Place in This World. I also really like that in this song, kind of contrasting from You're on Your Own, Kid, she talks about how I have, something about sunshine. Feeling lucky today, got the sunshine. Could you tell me what more do I need? Like, I love that this song not only is like, I'm alone in this world, but it's also like, I have everything I need already, which is an attitude that I personally am really trying to adopt right now, of appreciating what you have. And of course, you know, it's important to think about the future, but I really love that in this song, she's like, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do in the future, but I'm really happy right now, and I have everything that I need. And I think that's a really good mindset to be in. It's a really mature mindset, honestly, because I feel like I never felt that way as a teenager. I was like, I don't know what I want to do, and I'm worrying about it constantly. I was never just like, I don't know, man, I'm just enjoying the sunshine, just enjoying being in my blue jeans with the radio on. That's another lyric in this song. I was panicking the whole time. So I appreciate that this song promotes living in the moment and enjoying where you're at and not worrying too much about where you're going right now. Sorry I didn't show more of that butterfly liner process. Honestly, it took so much focus, and it was my first time really trying to freehand draw a butterfly like this. I think I did pretty good on this side. This side I did not do as well. And I think I talked enough about A Place in This World, so let's move on to my number 2 song off of debut, which is Should Have Said No. Here's the thing, between my number 2 song and my number 1 song, I wish I could split the title. I wish I could give them both number 1 because I love them both so much, but Should Have Said No is this high on the list for a reason. I freaking love this song. And I have another modern day Taylor Swift comparison for this song. I have modern day Taylor Swift comparisons for almost all of the songs on this list, but I feel like Should Have Said No is what would have happened if Betty didn't forgive James off of Folklore. As we know from the song Betty, she does end up forgiving James and they get back together even though he cheated on her. But I really like to think that Should Have Said No is what would have happened if Betty said, screw you, I'm not forgiving you, because Should Have Said No, she talks about, you say you'd take it all back given one chance. So basically the guy is saying, give me one more chance. And she says, you say you'd take it all back given the one chance. It was a moment of weakness and you said yes. And to me, this feels very similar to the whole like Betty and James situation on Folklore, because in the song Betty, he says, she said, James, get in, let's drive. Those days turned into nights, slept next to her, but I dreamed of you all summer long. Blah, 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 blah. I know it's literally fictional. There's no reason for me to be this upset over it, but Should Have Said No. He says, you know, I'd take it all back given the one chance. It was a moment of weakness and you said yes. And then she like lets it linger. You said yes. And then she comes around and is like, you should have said no. You should have gone home. You should have thought twice before you let it all go. It just hits so hard. You guys have to listen to Should Have Said No in the shower, because if you've seen her, I don't think it's her music video. I think it was her performance of this, where she's just like thrashing and she's wearing this like sweatshirt, and then all of a sudden at this part she like rips the sweatshirt off and she's wearing this like little black dress, and it's such a moment. It is such a piece of pop culture history for me. Like, I cannot listen to this song without picturing her doing that exact transition. It is just what I wouldn't give to hear Should Have Said No at the Eras Tour. Please, Taylor, play Should Have Said No in New York. I want to hear it so bad. This song also reminds me of a song off of Red. The whole thing about the debut album is it's so fun to listen to now because it just kind of like gives you what might have been like the seedlings, the initial thoughts behind a lot of songs that she writes later. Why did I put bronzer on my nose like that? I don't know. I don't know who I think I am. I don't normally do that, but let's see how this works out. But anyways, So the song that this made me think of on Red is Girl at Home, which you might not know that one. I'm pretty sure it's a bonus track. But the premise of the song Girl at Home is that basically somebody at a bar or wherever she's out and about is trying to get together with her, but she knows that he has a girlfriend. And she says, don't look at me, you got a girl at home, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. It's such a good song. But she says, it would be a fine proposition if I was a stupid girl. It would be a something something proposition if I wasn't once like her. Basically, in my head, that is alluding to the should have said no situation, which I don't even know if this is a fictional song or if this is something that actually happened to Taylor Swift. But it makes me think of should have said no, because the whole premise is, you know, you said yes, you should have said no. And then she has lyrics in should have said no that said, I should have been there in the back of your mind. I shouldn't be asking myself why. You shouldn't be begging for forgiveness at my feet. You should have said no, and maybe then you might still have me. It's such a serve, honestly. It's just, I love that this song feels like it's the inkling to so many other songs. Should have said no also gives me very big Carrie Underwood Before He Cheats vibes, which was my favorite song for a long time. The way I used to wail to Before He Cheats in my bedroom, knowing dang well I never had a boyfriend. I think Before He Cheats came out when I was like 10, so like nothing relatable about that song to me then, but I used to absolutely rage to Before He Cheats. So the first time I heard Shoulda Said No, it just gave me such similar vibes to that, and I was like, I love when women, period, I love when women, but I also love when women sing about saying no, no, no. I am not taking you back after you cheated on me. We're done. Get out of here. It's very empowering. Okay, as much as I want to go in with my typical very bold blush look, I'm gonna go with a little baby pink moment here because that feels very like baby Taylor era. She honestly doesn't really look like she's wearing any blush on the album cover. I mean, clearly, I'm not trying to emulate the look on the album cover, or else they would have done a little bit of smudgy eyeliner and like nothing else. But you know, I'm trying to go with like somewhat similar vibes to the base makeup. This color blends out, don't worry. Anyways, should we talk about my #1 song on debut? Are you on the edge of your seat, dying to know what's gonna be her favorite song? Is it gonna be Teardrops on My Guitar? Of course not. It's Picture to Burn. I say Should Have Said No and Picture to Burn are really close for #1, and like they are, but there is one particular part in the song Picture to Burn that makes it #1 for me because it's truly altered my brain chemistry. It turns me into a different person. I become a country twangy version of myself every time this comes on, and that is when she says, I really, really hate that stupid old pickup truck you never let me drive. Not the first time, because we know she says that a few times in the song, but towards the end of the song she says, so go ahead and strike a match on all my wasted time. In case you haven't heard, I really, really hate that stupid old pickup truck. Like, I always do this when listening to the song too. I don't know if I'm lassoing, I don't know if I'm fist pumping, but it literally alters my brain chemistry every time I hear it. It is just so freaking good. Picture to Burn is just one of those songs that, like, beginning to end, perfection all around. To state the obvious, I didn't get my perfect fantasy. I realized you love yourself more than you could ever love me. And she says it like that in the song. Just the delivery of all of these lyrics. There is something about somebody singing and then going into talking that just changes me inside. I don't know what it is. I love when people do that, especially in country music. I just think it's really fun. That is like one thing that I totally get the appeal of country music about. They love to holler something out. They love to be singing and then to just shout something. I think that the other reason I really like this song is because I think it's just so empowering when you break up with somebody to be like, and by the way, I don't love that thing that you love at all. Like, I actually hate that thing that you love. Like, because, you know, she says he loves his truck, loves his stupid old pickup truck. And not that I've ever done this, because I don't know if it's necessarily in my character to be like, and by the way, I hate all that stuff that you love, but I find it very empowering to sing about. I'm sure that we have all dated somebody who loved something so freaking much that maybe we just didn't really have an interest in, but we pretended that we did have an interest in it, because, you know, when you're dating someone, you have to take an interest in the things that they like. But I love that after they break up, she's just like, and by the way, I hate that stupid old pickup truck you never let me drive. drive. And that's like an added layer to it too, because not only does she hate the thing that he loves, but he never even let her drive it. He let her drive the truck. He never let me drive the truck. That is so messed up. Going for a nude lip today to try to go with them. Album cover. This is the shade Pink Pina from About Face. Super cute, super juicy. She looked like she had a little bit of a sheen to her lips in the album cover, but not too much. Like definitely wasn't a matte finish, but didn't look super glossy. I was between using this and a gloss, but I feel like I made the right choice with the lip balm. All right, you guys, and I think with that, we've reached the end of the video. I could rant and rave about how much I love Picture to Burn for another 2 hours. Honestly, I could just sing the song over and over and over again. I love it so much. Let's do a little final zoom. Really take in this look. Do you see? You see the inspiration that I had here? I really like the teal mascara. I feel like it took it to the next level. I could have stuck with black, but I went with teal. And I really like how it turned out. But yeah, let me know what album you want me to do next, and I can't wait to read your comments. Check out my description box for all of the details of all of the makeup products that I used on my face today. Also in my description, I will have my social justice links, so please click on those if you haven't yet. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!